Today we are talking about our camping setup on the 4runner. I do not use this, well, I kind of do. I do use it as my daily driver. My daily driver is basically a semi. But if the semi breaks or I'm going to get parts for it, or I'm doing something for business or whatever, I do drive this. So it is my daily driver, but most of the time it's just sitting there. I have a camping system for it because that is the main thing that I want to use it for. I developed a system for my camping stuff to where I can keep the back seats up in case I do need to travel with people, which I normally don't, but there are times that, you know, you load people in there. I have a system where I can keep all my camping gear in there and have the seats up. Obviously, I can't vehicle camp that way. I have to fold the seats down to sleep in there comfortably. But I can carry everything I need for camping in the back and still have the seats up. The other thing is, this is not like an expensive system. I am one of the cheapest people that you know, that you will ever meet, and I try and figure out how to do things without having to buy a whole bunch of stuff to make it work for me. So I mean, there is a lot of, obviously it's camping stuff, there's a lot of purchased items in it. As far as being able to pack everything in there with the seats up and go, it's as basic and cheap as you can get. So I'll open that up, but this right here is everything. I have a camping mat, pillow, bedding, cooler. Yes, I do actually have a refrigerator, I just don't, I use it in my semi. I transferred it to the semi because I wasn't impressed with the refrigerator for camping. I only do like 2-3 day trips, and I can get by with the cooler on that. I have my camp stove, I have a chair, I have 2 different tables, and I also have all my camping gear. I have everything I need here to go camping for 3, 4, 5 days, and I can do it on a whim. If all of a sudden I get time off, which is rare, but every once in a while, due to plant closures and parts missing and everything else, I'm not in the semi. When that happens, I have everything I need right here to go camp. Now, the big thing, well, I also have all my fishing rods up there because I like to fish. So this is basically, right here, is the only table I generally have in there. I generally have a 5-pound tank right here, hooked to a hose, and I can do all my cooking right here. I also have a water tank up there, you can see. And I have a hose for it that I can hook to it. And an air compressor right here. This is it's a cheap little air compressor. I think it came with something else I bought. But it's a cheap little air compressor. You turn it on, it gets about 2.5, 3 psi in there. I just leave it hooked up to the nozzle. And it gives me pressurized water, which is an absolute game changer when you're boondock camping. I'll do a whole video on that later at some point, but this is my pack for camping stuff. It is a Harbor Freight Bauer, like tool storage bins, basically. They all clip together. You can take them apart. One is my kitchen, and then I have this tray, carries wipes, paper towels, toilet paper, These actually go in the cooler when I have eggs. I also carry my plates. I also carry 1 pound propanes, just in case I don't have the 5-pound tank with me, which I don't right now, so I can still cook with it. And then in these, this one's my kitchen. Has utensils like little bowls, little cups, and everything I need to cook with. It has all my spices, everything. It has bags, it has everything, basically everything I need to cook with. These are very important to the system. I went with Bauer instead of, I know Milwaukee makes some, DeWalt makes some. I went with Bauer because it's Harbor Freight. I'm not depending on them for job site stuff, tool stuff, and they are way more than tough enough to ride around in the 4Runner and survive it. So this one here is all my miscellaneous camping stuff. It has a fan, a little speaker, shovel, tent, steak pounder. It also has a thermocell, which is rechargeable. And then just general camping stuff. Oh, camp heats. It's actually what I use for heat when I camp in the winter inside the 4Runner is camp heat. Works great. The one thing I'm missing in this setup that I used to carry with me a lot was my battery pack. There's a link up here for that video, why I don't carry it anymore, because it's dead. And then I also have my big table, which honestly I don't carry that often, but I put it in here because it was there, and it does get carried in here. So this is the table. It stands out to 4x8. It is huge. It is very nice for camping if you're going to stay in one spot for more than a couple days. So the other thing that makes this system work really good and cheap, I don't know how well this is going to show up because everything's so dark inside the truck. I'll try and lighten things up there. So the other thing that makes this work is this platform, because you all know when you fold the seats down inside the 4Runner, oh, the other thing that's always in here too is this toolbox, just in case I break on the trail. But so you fold down the seats, gotta push a button, idiot. Fold down the seats, and this platform gives you a level place to sleep. You see a lot of other people with drawers with a whole bunch of elaborate systems. This platform is about as simple as it gets. It is 1/2-inch plywood, which is probably overkill, and 2x2s, and that's it, and then some carpet thrown on top of it. And I need something low to the deck because I just had 2 steer tires off my semi in here, rimmed, and that's 25-30 inches that you need to fit that in there. So I can't do the slide out drawer thing. I'd really like to. I need my head space. It also is more effective for sleeping in here, because if you go to stand up, or not stand up, but even sit up when you wake up, You don't hit your head on anything, but in this current configuration, you hit it on some fishing rods, which ain't gonna kill you. The other thing with this is I can store stuff underneath here. So I have a cast iron frying pan, which I do have pans in my kitchen, but I have a cast iron frying pan in case I want to cook a steak. I have a tripod set up with a grill on it, so I can use that over a fire. I also have a fire pit, and I have collapsible plastic containers that collapse for a kitchen, so I can wash up my utensils and everything else. The other thing that makes this work is I have molly panels on the side. That one over there is used for all my recovery gear. And this one over here is camping and camera stuff. So I have all my utensils over here in a little roll-up pack. And you just roll them back up. And hook them back up here. And your utensils are out of the way. I also have hatchets, stuff for wood processing. I have lights. I have I have walking sticks in case I want to hike, and I'm in an area where balance is going to leave the chat, and you're going to get in trouble if you fall down. So I can literally carry everything in the back with the seats up to go camping anywhere in the country. In order to set this up, like if I'm camping, is I roll this out, which I'm not going to do right here because they're a pain in the butt to roll back up. But I roll this out, and then the cooler and this table will all slide in there and be inside the truck with me. So if I'm in bear country or flying ant. If I'm in bear country or something and I want to store everything inside the truck, because I don't want, which is everywhere I camp is bear country. It might be black bear country or brown bear country, but when you go up in northern Minnesota, the black bears are real. They'll destroy your stuff. You may not be afraid of getting attacked by them, but they're going to destroy your stuff trying to get to it. So everything goes back in the truck for sleeping. That's why I generally don't carry this big table, because the big table has to stay outside when I'm sleeping. Everything goes back in the truck, slides in, and you have basically a cot size area inside the truck to sleep. The one upgrade I'm probably going to do, because this the gate, you can't open it from the inside. This is a 2018. I know on the newer ones I think they might have, but these are it's an electronic actuator that opens them up. Like when you open it up from the outside, you're not actually pulling a lever. Yeah, I mean, you are pulling a lever, but it's actually not a cable connected to a lock where it just pulls it open. It's electronic actuator. All you're doing is tripping that electronic actuator to open it up. So you should be able to wire something in like on this back panel right here, where you can just push a button, kick it open, and it'll come open to get out. Because right now when I sleep in here, my head's usually down to this side, and I get out the passenger side door, which can be a pain in the butt the older you get. I'm 50 years old, and it can be, when you first wake up, it can be interesting, not very fun getting in and out of here. So I might figure out a way to wire in a button here so I can open up the back gate, open it up, and that way I can sleep with my head down towards the seats. I'm also only 5'10". Obviously I have my back seats in there. You only get about 6 feet of room. between once you have the seats folded up and this back area. So you gotta kind of, if you're like 6'5", you're gonna be scrunched in there. But at 5'10", which ain't short, it's the average height for an American male is 5'10", so don't say I'm short. So you are a little scrunched in there, but weird thing about doing this in the state forest. So I'm actually in the Sand Dunes State Forest, which I'm about, I think at this point, I'm 1.5 miles away from my house. And I do this out here because I like it out here. This is probably the key to this system, is this super easy platform to build. It is 2x2s with 1/2-inch plywood on it, which is probably overkill. It actually sits a little bit higher than the hump for the back seats. But with this pad, you don't even, I mean, you don't feel anything. That's why I have that pad, is because you could put, I've done air mattresses, I've done a whole bunch of other things back there, and the pad is 10 times more comfortable. You keep everything, like, it's just, it's like basically sleeping in a bed. I mean, it's way more comfortable. For as far as camping goes, it's probably as comfortable as you're gonna get. So, but at this point, I appreciate you watching the video. Have any questions, or big thing, if you have ways to improve this system, ways that you've done, leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear them, because this is what I've come up with, so I can still use my 4runner as a passenger vehicle and camping vehicle and be very comfortable. It works for me. If you have any questions or anything, leave them down below. I'll make sure I get to them. Thanks for watching. Okay, I lied. This is the setup for sleeping. I went and threw everything back in here and thought this was the easiest way to get it back in here. So, normally, that's the big table. There's another table behind it. My stove. Everything for cooking is normally on the inside when I'm sleeping. Just because I don't want bears messing with my stuff. So, other table on the aluminum tables on the side of the big table. And this would be ready to sleep. You see with this mattress pad, a little bit of it sticks up over the wheel well right there. And I had technically, because this is foam, I could cut out an indent so it lays flat on that. But once you lay on it, you really don't even notice that that's there. And I usually sleep on my stomach. Like, that's the hump. You know, and then you have, to get it in there, you have, this is why I want my, you know, sometimes I sleep with my head down here. It just makes it harder to get in and out, because I can't open the back gate. But this is the setup. You can go camping anywhere and actually enjoy yourself, not have a whole bunch of setup time. And when I break camp, like I went to the Ozarks about almost 2 years ago now, which the videos will be dropping from that here shortly. And this was my setup. I would set it, like, I would wake up, pull some cooking stuff out. Usually had that right, like I have my cooler right in the back. I didn't have the big table, so I'd have the table, and I could open up the cooler, grab my cooktop, cook breakfast, and shove it all back inside and get going to get back on the trail. It was quick and easy. I mean, obviously on the trail, stuff is rearranging itself in there constantly. But I will say the Bauer tool packs that are hard to see because it's black and I shut that door, but the Bauer tool packs keep everything fairly organized in there, and they stay together, and they're tough as nails. I've had those for 3 years now. I know they went to the Ozarks. I can't remember if they went to Moab or not. I think I got them after Moab. This is the system. It makes it quick, easy. No rooftop tent to mess with. The only thing that I'm missing that I normally have up, because I'm making new mounts for it, because I do have a pipe that I put fishing rods in too. I'm making new mounts for the awning. And the awning is kind of a game changer boondock camping, because even if it's raining out, you can get an area that's outside, out of the rain.